Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Fuente and Meerapfel present Meet the Professor. Hello, world.
Hi, everybody. How's it going, Jeremiah?
I am doing very well, Melanie. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing well, except for a couple of technicalities, but we're going to get through this.
No, don't worry. There's never technicalities you can't sort out. Where's your little microphone, the journalist microphone? There you go. Look at that.
Yes. Fortunately, I can't get my, so Apple makes everything easy because it just, connects so easily. But then when you're trying to get it to connect to one device and not the rest.
Forget it. Forget it. It doesn't work.
Hello
out there. Look how many people. This is insane. Who do we have today? Daniel. We have Mark, Wes, Jay. Hello, everybody. How was your week?
Wow. This is so cool. I think everybody was excited about this coming up episode.
Oh, my goodness. We have huge news for tonight. And I think, I think that explains why so many people have logged on.
Yeah.
Let's cut straight. What do you call it? Cutting straight to the chase?
Yes. That's funny, actually. I wonder why they said that.
All right, let's cut straight to the chase. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a very, very, very special guest of honor. Probably one which means the most to my heart. Somebody who's been around my entire life. Friend, one of my father's best friends. One of the giants of the industry. One which many, many of you already know. And which others are going to get to know tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Robbie Levin. Robbie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be in the show.
Oh, yeah. Now we're sitting together. But before we get into the show, I know that there is someone here who would like to say a huge hello. And it is someone who, in my lifetime, has never, ever been on time for anything.
No.
But for today, out of respect to you, out of friendship and out of love, the one and only Papo del Humo, Carlito Fuente. Carlito.
Hey, Rob, what's up, my brother? Good to see
Carlito.
you. Happy Sunday. That's good to see you. No, you know why I'm on time? Because it's an hour. It's a different time change here. It's an hour later. So I'm great, man. It's good to see you, man. Really nice. It's a huge honor to have you on this show. I mean, you've always been the powerful man of silence in the industry. The one that thinks, the one that really makes the decisions, in the back room that keeps us all on our feet, man. Love you, and I'm so happy you're here on the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Of course.
I've known Jeremiah since I think he was 9 years old. 8 years old?
Yeah, longer than I can remember, that's for sure. And I want to get back to that, Robbie, because I think that there's a lot of people out there who don't know your story. And your story is absolutely incredible. As far as I can remember, I remember as a really, really small kid, walking into, I think it was your father's shop. Was it Chestnut or was it Walnut?
16th and Sansom.
It was Sanson?
Yeah.
And there was this shop and there was all kinds of stuff. I remember my parents were buying Serengeti sunglasses and they had all kinds of, so explain to everybody, what were the beginnings of what is today the emperor of all cigars, Ashton Cigars? How did it all start and how did you put your foot into this industry?
My father, there was a small store in Philadelphia called Holt Cigar Company. And my father bought the store in 1957. And Holt's has been around since 1911. My father bought it in 57. And it was right across the street from City Hall in a building that's no longer there. And we were in 16th and Sansom for about 30 years. I came into the business in the early 70s. And in 95, we moved to Walnut Street, where we still are. And in 1985, I thought I've been working in the business for a dozen years. I thought I knew everything. And I thought, I want my own brand. I thought I knew what people wanted to smoke. And we came out with Ashton.
Ashton in itself is an incredible story, isn't it? Something to do with the UK. Tell us about it.
Well, a good friend of mine at the time, David Field, was importing Ashton pipes. And we were talking, and I told him I'm coming out with my own brand of cigars. And he said, well, why don't you call it Ashton? And I'll do the pipes and you do the cigars and we'll build a brand. And that's what we did. And Bill Taylor, who's no longer with us, was making the Ashton pipes in England, in London.
Yeah, Bill Ashton Taylor was, for many, one of the best, if not the best pipe maker in history.
Yeah, he liked the liquids a little bit too much. And he...
I remember Bill Ashton, actually.
Yeah, but his name was not Ashton.
No, true.
He put that in after things started to develop.
True. But he was a hell of a pipe maker. He started his days, he was with Dunhill for many years, wasn't he?
That's where David found him. David was a Dunhill fanatic. He used to go over to England. He actually went into the Dunhill archives, if there's still such a thing, and studied up on it. And he got to know Bill Taylor, who was making pipes in the Dunhill Pipe Factory, and talked him into leaving the Dunhill Pipe Factory and starting Ashton Pipes.
True. That's amazing. I remember my days in London. This is over 20 years ago now, working in the shops in St. James's and, well, actually quite a few of them. And Bill was actually still making pipes at those times, but unfortunately he wasn't delivering them very often.
Shocking.
So people would order the pipes, and then if they were lucky, 6 years later, they might receive one. But my goodness, what a beautiful pipe that he made.
He did. It was quality.
It was quality. So tell us, so you're in your dad's shop and you decide to make a cigar. And what happened? How did you start out?
Started out, we got cigars made, it's a lot of sampling. And
who made your cigars first?
You want to get into all that? Hanky Kellner for a short while.
And what happened there?
What happened there was I was always very friendly with the Fuentes. My father was doing business with Carlos Sr., and I knew the Fuentes. And but Carlos Sr. and Carlito said, no, have Hanky make your cigar. We don't want to rock the boat. You have Hanky make your cigar. So we did, but after a couple of years, it was time to move on. And unfortunately, that during that time was before Pro Cigar, where cigar rollers were not supposed to, manufacturers were not supposed to take each other's cigar rollers.
What are you talking about? Nobody knows about that.
So anyway, we moved over to the Fuentes, and that's when things started to roll and increase in sales. And we brought out Ashton Classic was first, Ashton Age Maduro, Ashton Cabinet, and then in '99, thanks to your father, BSG. He came up with the name. I
remember when I was in the factory, and Carlito he blended the first VSGs, and I tasted, and I thought, how can somebody in their right mind smoke something like this?
First time, I think you got sick.
Exactly. It was so powerful. I was like, what am I going to do with this thing? Actually, we got to bring Carlito on, because the creation of Ashton is something which is mythical, and I really want to hear what he has to say, because at the end of the day, the toy maker here blended these cigars, didn't he?
Right.
All right, let's bring the toy maker on. You're on mute, Papo.
Hey, no, it goes back. They were really fascinating days. Wow, they were very challenging days, to say the least. But Ashton, Rob and I have been very close friends since we first met. I remember calling Robbie with Fred Zanaboni in the 70s when he just started, and I was in Tampa with Fred in the 70s, and trying to convince him. He was big in buying those curly heads, Candela. And then from that, we used to go to Spanish Park and celebrate because we just made a big sale of cigars. But we go back a long time, and it's as Robbie said when we were very close. We were already doing a lot of things with Robbie. We go back with Holtz way before Robbie, and even with the Tint brothers, we used to make private labels for the tints, which the Levin family ended up buying. It was part of Holtz. But, we go back for many, many years, and we've been close friends. And when Robbie approaches with Ashton, we knew that he had been talking to Hanky, and Hanky was working. We didn't want to interfere at that time, because we're all colleagues. It was a small neighborhood at that time. There was only a handful of cigar makers in the Dominican. And Robbie started with Hanky making Ashton, and he was doing well. I think he was doing well. And things happened that was not favorable to Ashton and Robbie and so forth. And he had a sidekick, like a Lone Ranger and Tonto. Robbie was the man in white, quiet man. He was the Lone Ranger, clean, spotless, impeccable. But Tonto, which we love dearly, Manny Ferrero, and may he rest his soul, man, he's still with us and everything. He was an amazing guy. And he just had enough. And they convinced us to make Ashton. And the day that we agreed to make Ashton, I poured my heart and soul into it. I did everything humanly possible within our resources, within our reach, to blend the best cigar I had to fit within the personality and characteristic of what Ashton was at that time. Do it the Fuente way, make it in the Fuente kitchen and give it the Fuente twist. But not to change the cigar completely, because he already had a following. And, moving forward, after Duro Fuente that's been around for 109 years this year, Ashton is our second largest brand. And it's part of the Fuente portfolio in every single way. I mean, we're partners. We go back a long ways. There's a lot of things. I mean, it's more than just, it's a product. It's an extension of my entire family. It's one of those fingers I have in my hand, that which one is more important than the other. Ashton is very intricate in every way to the Fuente family, to me personally, to my father. I mean, he babied Ashton as much as he did his A58 of Don Carlos. He did, because of the love and respect he had for Robbie. Robbie was probably, his closest friend in the industry. He's very close. He spoke to Robbie every day. And it's just, I think, like we said before, it's a family affair, and you take care of family, and family has always taken care of me. And it's something that comes from the heart,
And
which
it's
I'm very, very proud of.
Of the incredible quality and consistency from the Fuente family, from Fuente factories that made Ashton successful.
Well, I'll tell you, when you think about it, it's been so many years since way before the boom, into the 1980s. You think about that, Ashton is still one of the top sellers in the industry. It's just incredible to know that it's persevered, it's really become a classic, like the old names and the old brands that have been around for centuries. And that is something that, aside from a great cigar and great quality, that is something that represents the hard work, efforts, integrity of the Levin family, from Robbie, his entire organization, all of them that I know personally, but most people don't know because they're, behind the scenes, working around the clock, being creative. It's just an incredible team, from his children, his wife, Suzanne, who's silent in the background, who's the pillar of the family, just like my mom was, and so forth, always the quiet one, but without them, none of this is possible. And like your mom, Jeanette, and the women in our lives, which are a lot of times not given the credit, which, it's just a great family. When you work with a family like that of integrity, that you can sleep with both eyes closed, that you don't have to keep one cracked open just in case. It's a feeling of tranquility, of peace, that that there's another extension of your heart and soul that is out there working side by side with you. And that is the relationship with Ashton, which I'm saying is a family affair, and with the entire Levin family.
Remember 1980 when you opened up? and we made El Cuño de Calidad just for the retail store.
That's correct. That's correct. El Cuño de Calidad. That's correct. I remember packing El Cuño back in Tampa, you know, when I was a teenager, packing them and shipping them up to Philadelphia. You know, we go back a long time. I mean, it's generational. That's one of the amazing things of this business. You know, we go back generations when you think of my father with Robbie's father, and now our children together, you know, working together. It's really something that's very, very rewarding, that I think in the back of our minds and in our hearts is what we really work for. We really work hard for, is to keep up, you know, the integrity of the unity of the families, because I believe that our strength is the families, our extended families who work with us day in and day out.
Well said.
Thank you, Rob.
Absolutely. Melanie.
What's up? Hey guys, remember that we are still nailing the professor or Carlito or Jeremiah. So be sure to put your questions in the comments, and so when we get there, you'll be able to have a chance to win.
Actually, they're not going to nail the professor, but they're going to try to nail Carlito, Robbie, and I tonight. And guys, we are waiting for you. We're going to wait for your questions, because you're going to have to try to nail this today. So, Robbie.
Yeah.
Ashton Classic starts becoming a very important brand in the United States of America, but there's something which you've built, which is, I'm sure you're very proud of, which is probably one of the finest sales forces in the United States of America. Tell us about it.
I think right now we have the best sales force we've ever had. And we have a good team. You know, my son is really running the day-to-day operation, and we have Andy Green as vice president of sales, national sales manager, does a great job. Michael Walter, and we have a great team. We have 14 salespeople, not all men, and they're doing a fantastic job. They're energized. They starting to get out there again. Pandemic, and things are good.
So the chat room here is going absolutely insane, Robbie, and there's 1,000,001 people asking.
We started with reps. A rep is someone who carries many brands, and then in 97, 98, we decided we needed our own employees just selling our brand. So since then, we've had our own sales force.
And what a sales force it is. Robbie, VSG, tell us more about the brand. Everybody's asking on the chat. People are going crazy. VSG, VSG, VSG. What is so special about the VSG?
Well, we have to get Carlito that, but your father, we were messing around in Carlito's office and for a while talking about different blends. We wanted a real full-bodied cigar, and your father had this name, Virgin Sungrown, in the back of his back pocket, and it was his name, and we used it. And Carlito came up with the blend, and I knew it was going to be good because first time you smoked it, you almost collapsed.
I did.
You got under the table.
I did. Yes, I did. I think I must have been 16 years old. I was blowing smoke out of my ass, and I didn't feel that well.
You weren't the only one that collapsed. We actually, when we first came out with introduced it, we had to put a warning on all the advertisement and all the things with a big sofa, lounge chair, saying, make sure you smoke it sitting down. That was the first cigar that actually had a warning to make sure you smoke it sitting down.
So Carlito managed to nail me and to nail my brother. I was ill with the VSG, and I think Josh puked on the table of paparazzo with the Rope and Sex.
Yeah, with the extra third power, the little red ribbon. He said, "What's the red ribbon for?" No, the red ribbon is because it's nice and smooth, and you're gonna fall in love with it. It's a Valentine.
It's a chocolate.
Yeah.
So the VSG was something special, wasn't it? And that just blazed through the marketplace.
The VSG changed the industry. to be honest with you, to be totally honest, because Robbie's very humble, and I would like to be, but at my age, why not say the truth? Because if truth is not documented, somebody's going to recreate history. And the truth is that before Fuente Open cigars were relatively mild. The big sellers were mild. Everything was mild, medium, mild, and everything. And Fuente Open, when it was launched, was the richest, fullest body cigar. It was incredible. It set like a whole trend. And the tobaccos were so limited, it was impossible. I mean, we were only selling it in the Northeast at the time. And Robbie being our partner and, being so close to us and having the inside, I mean, it was every day. I want an open sex. I want an open sex. I want an open sex. I want a strong cigar. We got to come out with another Ashton. We need another cigar. The trend is going this way, so forth. And the honest truth, I said, Robbie, how could I say no to Robbie? It's our relationship, my partner. He's done so much. We're so close. I'm gonna work on something to really make this something incredible. And we had tobacco. We had tobacco that it was set aside for years and years and years, but we bought the entire crop from Angel Oliva Sr. And it was the first crop in La Meca. He talked to me about he was going to grow this tobacco in La Meca. And we didn't have the usage for so much tobacco. But I wanted to secure the tobacco and everything. We agreed to the entire crop, which we bought. But we used all the third primings and the fourth primings and all that were beautiful wrappers. And we had the fifth and sixth, seventh primings that were sitting there for years because they were oily, they were blotchy, they had stains because they were heavier, oilier tobaccos. But that tobacco just seasoned and seasoned. And when I started working, I said, my God, this is not the most beautiful tobacco, but the taste of this tobacco is like nothing else. It's incredible. And I said, I'm going to make a cigar so strong that Robbie's just going to get off my back and leave me alone. and we came up, and I remember that I had in the back of my mind the virgin sun-grown, which your father always wanted because Cameroon is grown, without any cloth, without any shades, and it's all virgin and so forth, and grown in the sun. And they always had it back in his mind for Cameroon. But I liked the name so much. And it was a very difficult time for Cameroon at that moment that we didn't know how long Cameroon was going to survive. But I loved the name Virgin, and I knew that the only way I had to get it out. And I knew how close Robbie was to your father. They were the closest of friends. So your father may forgive me only if it was something for Robbie. So I come to Robbie and I said, Robbie, you want a cigar? I'll make a cigar, but one condition. I don't know if Robbie remembers. You got to call it Ashton Virgin Sun-Grown. He goes, he almost, what? I can't do it. That's crazy. Call it Virgin, this and that. And I explained to him, Robbie, VSG, Virgin Sun-Grown. That's the only way I'll do it. And he wanted a cigar so bad, but he was not in favor because it was very controversial. I said, Robbie, let me explain to you. And thank God that Manny Ferrero was there because Manny understood my language a lot quicker than Robbie did. It's Virgin. No, Manny, because Manny convinced you to call it Virgin Sun-Grown also. Manny, Rick was already convinced. But remember, it's virgin because it's grown in the Ecuadorian valleys. And there's no shade because it's always a cloud covering. And the cloud is like the hymen of a virgin lady that it keeps the sun's ray from penetrating through, the clouds, and to affect the delicate leaves and everything. It's virgin. It's grown under the clouds. It's like and so anyway, I convinced Robbie. That cigar, where I'm going at, became such a hit. It was like the second Fuente Open Sex that ever hit the market. And after that, literally speaking, every cigar is growing. Every tobacco is growing in the sun. It's either growing in the sun or in the shade, but we named this sun-grown. And after that, everybody and their mother wanted to have a VSG that came out with a sun-grown. This sun-grown, that. And still today, people come out with cigars and using sun-grown as a subtitle or bracket of a brand. That was Fuente who started that. And that came out of Virgin Sun-Grown, who changed the industry and changed the market. So that's why I believe that if you don't tell the true story and document these things, somebody's will come on later on and change it. And that's the reality. That's where sun-grown comes, and this big fever for sun-grown, everything sun-grown, came out from Ashton Virgin Sun-Grown.
It's true.
Of course.
Thank God.
How many cigars you got now with G, V, E, E, R, G, R? Everything sounds like VSG. I mean, I don't know if it's intended to be confused or because it's so powerful. They got VSG in the back of their bullseye or whatever it is. But everything you look at, it looks like a Fuente product, either the packaging or the sound of the name or something, as close as legally could be done and get away with it.
Right.
So you led the way, Robbie, and thank God you were one of the first, because it went from virgin to pussy tickler to pussy juice to whatever the fuck it was.
Wait, disclaimer. I'm not listening. Disclaimer.
Guys, this is broadcasted out of Basel, Switzerland. So,
So you know what? So don't blame me. It's all Robbie's fault.
It's all Robbie's fault. Exactly. All right. So how did it go from VSG to ESG?
That was a few years in between, but we were having dinner in Dominican, and after a few pre-dinner drinks, and
a few bottles of water,
we're talking about what we wanted to do, come out with another cigar, and Carlito said that Opus X is shade grown, but they grew some small plot with sun grown, same tobacco with sun grown. So I just said, I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Let's
come out with another cigar with the sun grown.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And we still grow it, and it's a limited amount and everything. But the sweetness of that cigar, it's got the spice and everything, but it's got a certain sweetness which you get from the natural sun-grown tobaccos. The yields are not as high, but the taste is it's incredible.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
So they had it, and I said, let's take it. Let's use it. And we did.
All right. Don't move. We're going to enter that time where Melanie's going to try to nail us somehow or another. Melanie, you ready for this?
Sure. So I didn't see, trying to figure out where some of these questions were. I know, well, Agnes is always asking about your guys' skin, so because the beautiful cigar ruined me. Let's see. You guys just want me to ask questions from my own thing?
Sure.
Let's see. So what was your first occasion of like coming together and actually come up with the idea of having somebody else make your cigars?
Well, I'm a guy from Philadelphia, born and raised, and I wasn't that presumptuous to think that I could open up my own factory by myself. So I went to my good friends, and we went from there.
And what was your first?
100% to do the right thing and to take care of me. So that's what I did.
But I like to add to that when Robbie says he went to good friends, Robbie had a choice of anyone in the industry he wanted it. Everyone in the industry, from the Colemans to Frankie Anessa to the Newmans, everyone knew Robbie, and everybody loved Robbie. Robbie had an impeccable reputation, very successful, very fair man, a brilliant businessman, and he had the doors open to go wherever he wanted. I mean, and so and still does. He's just an incredible person. We're very fortunate of our relationship and fortunate what we've been able to build together.
Okay, well, here's another question that I see. How did the VSGER come about?
VSGER?
Maybe that's our next project, Robbie. Robbie, there you go.
1 year. Carlito, remember that was 1 year with our friend.
Oh yeah. I don't want to remember.
He came out with a humidor, and he wanted to put, slightly different VSG in there, and it was very limited for 1 year, and we did it.
I think it's probably the best cigar we've ever made, also in the history. Yes,
I have a few.
The Estate Reserve, absolutely. They got to be 20 years old now,
at least.
Yes, 20 years old. Estate Reserve, grow with Chateau La Fuente. wrappers. It was a VSG blend with a Chateau Fuente wrapper. And there was a humidor made that says that, you know, that humidor was one of a kind or whatever, whenever that series was, it's not gonna be available anymore. And we were to come up with another humidor, you know, the next year or 3 years later, because it was so successful. People were just, the phone was just ringing off the hook. I mean, really, it was one of the most successful launches. And it was very rare. So we're gonna make a few more. And some of the consumers or collectors who had that said that, you know, that it was not fair to bring it out and so forth, that they had bought it because folks never be made again. So the humidor was promised never to be made again, but we didn't say anything about the cigar because it's kind of being made, but under another Ashton, you know.
Somebody threatened to sue us
Yeah, exactly.
if we would come out with it again.
Yeah.
But maybe we should.
So what's next for Ashton?
We're still just building our brands that we have. We don't come out with a lot of new products, and we base it on quality. We want to build a brand. The last new product we came out with was Symmetry, Ashton Symmetry.
Yeah, that was a great cigar.
Yeah, that's a great cigar. It's beautiful. The whole development of it was very well thought out. It was done. It took a long time, many years of going through experiments, to trials, and it was a very long process. But Ashton's it's a classic. It's something that we stay focused because it sells. So what are you going to eliminate to make something else? Everything, the Ashton, everything. It's such a big portfolio that I believe that we have new things coming, and we have to be very, very cautious as we introduce these new things. But there's some exciting things coming in the future. There's a whole area of the factory dedicated to Ashton to be able to really do some specialty things, and to be able to contribute to the brand. But one thing that we have to be very careful is that the demand for Ashton is so big that these small releases and everything, it's going to make some people happy. It's going to make a lot of people unhappy because they're not going to be able to get them. But there's some really special things that I'm looking forward to doing for Ashton, with Ashton.
That's exciting. Okay, here's a Nail the Professor question. What is a special way tobacco can be packed and aged at a higher humidity level without getting into mold problems?
They're probably thinking of Yagua. That's probably what they're thinking of. But you know what? If you got too much humidity, you're gonna have mold problems regardless. And that's somebody's reading some paper, and my father would say paper holds all the shit you put on it, and somebody's trying to stretch the envelope a little bit. Because if you have over 80% humidity and it's warm, or cold, you're going to have mildew. And if you have Yagua breathes. It's a natural palm bark that it breathes and everything, and it releases and it expels humidity naturally. But when you got high humidity, the humidity is going to be from the outside in. There's nowhere for it to go, and eventually the tobacco is going to go moldy.
Well, he says you're too good. He can't get you.
Nice try, Alex. Is it Alex?
Yeah, it's Alex.
Oh, there
Alex, nice try, brother.
All right, well, here's one for Rob. What cigar, if you could smoke any cigar in the entire world and you just wanted to smoke that cigar, what would it be?
Good question. But from my favorite cigars, obviously our cigars, I love ESG, VSG, and my old favorite from so many years hanging with the Fuentes is Don Carlos Robusto from Carlos Sr.
That's an excellent cigar, actually. That's so funny. I think it's like I see just everybody loving on that cigar all the time.
The man has taste.
Yeah. Well, let me think. What makes the strength and nicotine level so high in the leaves? That's a good question.
Go on, Jeremiah.
The sun.
That's interesting.
Well, no, he doesn't want to give up the answers. It's
Those are
the,
the secrets.
no, it's the essence. I think just thinking out of my mind, but I know it's the seed. It's genetically there's certain tobaccos. It's the position of the plant. It's the soil. There's a lot of different things of the natural, and then of course the fermentation. You release a lot of nicotines in fermentation. Depends how it's fermented and so forth. There's a lot that has to do with the nicotine.
How long it's fermented.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. All right, this is another one. How do you prevent tobacco beetles? I think if that's the same way you prevent flies from.
You have to have a long-lasting contract with the Orkin man or Raid.
That was simple. Okay.
No, let's get seriously.
You pray to God.
All our cigars and our tobacco are frozen. Everything is kept under, well below 20 degrees Fahrenheit for well over 72 hours. Then it comes back to room temperature and so forth. Everything is frozen. So to eliminate any possibility of any tobacco larva or anything like that. It's all done. Just no longer what was historical in the industry many years ago. Different gases, different fumigation techniques are no longer used. Now everything is completely clean, international standards, and only freezing is applied. Natural freezing.
All right. Stephen wants to know more about the VSG Robusto Special and why don't you release more of them? He also asked why if he's nuts, and that's debatable.
No, when I heard Stephen, that's probably Stephen Spector. He was one of the big ones. He was one of the big collectors of that that state reserve. I remember him when it first came out. He was a real big fan. As far as, they're limited production cigars, and they're just very, very popular. We make the same amount every year. We try to make a little bit more. And it just seems that there's a certain following to that size of those cigars that the minute they're out, the tobacconist informs his people they're out and they go right away. But we're doing everything possible to expand that slowly because we don't want to do anything quickly or affect the consistency of the quality that has made Ashton one of the classic brands and one of the largest sellers of a single brand in the United States. And I want to add, with prestige, a brand that has maintained its prestige, which is very important. There's a lot of brands that sell a lot more in numbers, but you can find them, you could find them buy 5 and get 10 free, or you can find them in a Sam's warehouse, or you can find them in one of those big department stores someday when you're checking out a Home Depot. That's not what Ashton's about. Ashton is brick and mortar. Ashton is a family brand. Ashton is quality. Ashton is about dignity, and Ashton is about luxury. So in that aspect, that's one thing that is protected. Is why Ashton is such a great brand. Been consistent for many, many years.
Yeah.
Not only in quality, but also in its value and its principles.
Awesome. All right, one more. Let's see. So Carlito, this is you absolutely the only way for you to make another cigar is by you collaborating with another brand that you have never collaborated with before. So who is the brand or the company that you would collaborate with so that you could make another cigar?
There's only one. Padron.
Oh, but you're doing it now.
I haven't done it. It's being done, but I haven't done it yet. But that's why I don't want to answer the question.
He's so good.
No. It's a relationship that goes back many years. It's already being done. There's a lot of great brands out there and a lot of people who I'm very close to. So, but I've never thought about it. I don't want to just give out an answer without really thinking it too deeply and everything. That is something very seriously. The reason I mentioned Padron because it is being done. It's being done for the right reason. It's to honor our fathers. And there's nothing that I want to do more in the years I have left of my life than to do everything possible than to honor my father. And I know that Jorge feels the same way. We have a lot in common in many things, and that is going to be the collaboration. The only time that we're going to do a collaboration like that with another manufacturer up to this date that we're doing something. Of course, we've done something, with Ashton, and we've done something with the Newman, but that's totally different. But as far as working with another cigar factory, this is the first time we ever do this.
Awesome. Jeremiah, you want to keep going or?
All right. Robbie, attention back on you. So you're running a family business, Robbie, and both your children are extremely involved in the business, more than extremely involved for that matter. And I can't wait to get them on the show. But in the meantime, tell us a little bit about that and how that's working out for you.
It's working out great because I'm practically semi-retired now because Satya is doing all the day-to-day, handles every aspect of the business. Mira handles all the international accounts and does marketing. And she used to travel around doing events with the salesman when you could travel. And that'll come back. So my kids are great, and the business is still growing all the time. We had a great year. I can relax a little.
Robbie, it's good. That's wishful thinking, I think it's called. Relax a little. I know better. You pretend to relax, but I want to also bring out that you're one of the founding members, one of the founding original members of the CRA. You have been one who have been very active politically and in defense of the premium handmade cigar business, in defense of the family businesses, and in defense of the brick and mortar tobacconists. Even though you have a very, very large mail order, you've always been very upfront, is that your heart is with the brick and mortar. That's how you started. And you really believe that family business should be protected so that entrepreneurship could continue to thrive and so forth. I'd like to ask you a question when it comes to the CRA and all the work that you've done along with your colleagues in defense of the premium handmade cigars and the family businesses. What is your opinion after the rulings, the recent rulings, and where do you see us today? Where do you see us as advocates, as consumers and people in the cigar industry, manufacturers and growers? What do you see? What have we accomplished and what needs to be done? And what is your view? And I want you to be candid on it. I want you to, the struggles that we're all going through and the necessity that needs to take place for us to accomplish anything in the future.
We're always going to be under attack, and it's always going to be a struggle because we're the low-hanging fruit, anything with tobacco. But we had 2 court rulings go our way on warning labels and substantial equivalence, which is saving every manufacturer millions of dollars. But it's a temporary fix, and we have a lot of work ahead of us, and we want to exempt handcrafted cigars from FDA regulation, period. That's our goal, and that's what we keep working at. And I think that it's great for the more successful we are, the stronger and more vibrant our business will be. The only thing that will hurt our business is the regulations and the FDA.
That's correct.
I think that everybody works very hard. Carlito's very involved. Padron, Rocky, my father, all the companies there, Leva, we're all very involved in trying to keep the business going. And it's all the family businesses that are doing all this. The multi, international companies are have another agenda, which is not to our benefit.
That's mildly put, Robbie.
They want to protect mass market cigars. All the cigarettes masquerading as cigars. And we're just fighting for the family businesses.
Which makes it very, very difficult because it requires incredible resources, both in time, financially, and and just footwork out there in Washington and everywhere, educating people what a premium cigar is. And unfortunately, it's only a portion of the industry. Perhaps when you look at the numbers, it's a very small portion of the industry who have contributed financially or give their time to support the fight, in defense of premium handmade cigars. So many people are just complacent, or for their political reasons or whatever it is, have not really supported, and they benefited tremendously. They've saved millions of dollars, yet they're absent when it comes to coming to the table and being part of the fight. And it's very heartbreaking to see this with so many of my colleagues.
It's very frustrating.
And yet when you see them on an interview and everything, they boast about protecting the industry, about families, about tradition. They talk about the same things but yet, they talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk.
They don't come to the table.
Yeah, which is very sad. And hopefully that will change this year. Hopefully we could have more participation from so many people in the industry. Not only manufacturers, but tobacco growers that sell to all of us. There's so many tobacco growers who sell to all of us who give so little and have earned so much from us. And yet it all comes down to the consumer. And it comes down to consumption. And FDA regulation comes through. Consumption might be cut in half. And half the businesses half the families of the company will be gone. So, this is something it's a matter of life or death, the way I see it. And I think that, forget the past, as the professor Jose Blanco said many times, put our egos aside and everything. Let's all work as one. And really, I think that together we could really make a difference. I think especially with consumers and what you're doing now, Jeremiah, with Reinhard, with Cigar Rights of the World, just having consumers join for free, but they have a voice. They could send in an email to a representative or something, because strength is in numbers. And we see that. And you talk about discriminated minorities, and we are the most cigar lovers. I don't like to say smokers, because sometimes I don't even like to use the word smoker with cigars. I like to refer to them as enthusiasts or aficionados, or you gourmets, connoisseurs, because
like Reinhardt says, the apasionados.
Yes, apasionado. Yeah, exactly. Because that's what it is. Because this is a culinary experience. This is a gourmet experience. This is a luxury. And, I think that altogether we can make a huge difference. And there's so many of us in this world, and our voice should be heard. We are the most discriminated minority, that we're not allowed to enjoy a legal product in a place where we could come and congregate with people and have an intelligent conversation and relieve some stress by sitting down. The way it was done for centuries, when you used to walk to a Ritz-Carlton, you go to a library and you're able to have a nice cognac, and you could have a conversation and fix the world over these next couple of hours with a cigar and a couple of cognacs and everything. Those were the good old days. We want them back, and we want them back.
It's a struggle.
And we're gonna get them back. And ladies and gentlemen, please, you've just heard Carlito. Get to your computers, get to your cell phones, type in www.cigarrightsofamerica.com. If you're in the US or anywhere else in the world, you want to support the Cigar Rights of America Association, make sure that you join the fight. And if you don't know what to do and you're just out there or somewhere else in the world, www.cigarrightsoftheworld.com, and we will make sure to get all of your votes together and direct you in the right direction. It is very, very, very important that every single one of you mobilize. The manufacturers can sit there and do whatever they want, but if we don't have the consumers on board, if we don't have the voices, if we don't have the army of people to join in on the fights, nothing's going to move, and we're all going to lose out. We're all going to lose our passions, and we're all going to lose our traditions, and we're all going to lose the right to sit back, to light up, and to have a wonderful cigar and time together. So make sure that you join on to one of these organizations and help us make a change. Oh, look at that, Carlito. My goodness.
That's been around for a while.
You're sending up the fire to Dad right there, huh?
That's sure am.
Man. What are you smoking, Carlito?
Well, I'm smoking a God's Whisper, and it's an appropriate cigar to send up the message to Dad.
Yeah, it is.
This is a lighter your dad gave me.
It
Haven't
is.
used it much, but today we have a very special guest, which unites us all together in memories and celebrations and tears and very exciting, all these celebrations together over the years. It's family.
It is.
Actually, a little anecdote. I remember one of the last times I was with Dad and Robbie. We were in somewhere in New Jersey. There was a storm. I thought I was going to get washed away into the sea. And I was a huge fan of clam chowder in those days.
Wait. You're not talking about the sushi time, right? And
No.
you go all the way to New Jersey with sushi. Your father ate the restaurant, man. Nobody could eat like your father. And he was thin and strong as a rail.
Skinny.
But
He ate for 2 or 3 people. Unbelievable.
No, I was referring to the time when I went out and bought a couple of gallons of clam chowder.
Not Manhattan clam chowder, New England clam chowder, the heavy cream. Then you had a whole quart of it.
hey, listen.
Almost didn't survive.
Okay, Jeremiah, Robbie, Richard Meerapfel, Rick. When he come to Santiago, there was only one restaurant really at that time. Pez Dorado. He used to order 2 main courses. His appetizer was camarones al ajillo, which is a big plate of garlic shrimp, and then a corazón de filete, a heart of filet for his main course. Aside from all the chevers, aside from the salads, aside from everything else, aside from the croquettes, aside from everything, all the appetizer, that was like, for him, it was a ritual. Pez Dorado, camarones al ajillo, and the corazón de filete. Amazing. And always smiling. From the minute he walked into the restaurant to the minute he left. There wasn't a person in the restaurant that he didn't greet, say hello to, or made them smile back. Amazing person. Never forget that personality. He just was radiating with love wherever he went.
Good guy.
Well, he certainly loved the two of you very much, like brothers, didn't he?
We shared a lot of the same things, you know. Great cigars, family, and a good scotch.
Right.
Carlito, I'm his son. There's certain things I shouldn't know.
Yeah. No, those. Let me tell you. So your father was he was a great man. He was harmless. He was impeccable with integrity and principles.
Shit! You know, somebody sent me a picture last night, Carlito. Let me show this to you.
Wow.
I got a message last night from Tony. It was late at night. Let me show this to you.
Oh my God. You know, Tony lately, he's been nostalgic. He's sending me old photos. I think he's going through his photos. Oh wow, man. Oh God, look at that. Yeah.
You see anything?
Of course. I could see your dad, always impeccable.
See your dad. I can see
that. And I see Tony there.
No.
That's not Tony?
No.
I see a big wait. That's me? Yeah.
There's you on the right, and in the middle, you see?
Is that you?
No.
I can't see. It's all right.
Nice.
Wow.
Problem is that age has struck all of us. Look at it. Hold on.
Juan Sosa.
There you go.
Master blender.
There you go.
Look at that. Wow. That's a happy picture, man. That's a happy picture.
I'm trying to figure out where it was, though. There's a painting back there. You see what that is?
I can't see from here, but you send it to me. I really would figure it out. I think that's at the cafe, but
it's El Cafe, isn't it?
But it looks like it. But I see the gardens. I could tell.
That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago.
I wonder what we were planning with one be associate father, and we must have been planning something.
All right, Robbie, we have a tradition on this show. It's called Melanie's Hot Spot. Ever hear about it?
No.
All right, here we go. Get ready. Strap in your seat because this is bad.
Hi.
Melanie. You ready? Right. I'm gonna bring the banner up because we got to do this properly. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the day for Melanie's Hot Spot. Melanie.
Where's my music? Dun 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 dun. All right. So let's think. Okay, the first question I have for you, since you are pretty American, I think that you're going to understand this. What is your pet peeve? Like most passionate pet peeve.
Right now, it's just what Carlito talked about how few companies and people are involved in our fight to keep cigars unregulated and alive.
All right.
That's constant, never goes away.
That's true. All right. So then let's try another one. What was your first encounter with a cigar?
I was working at my father's store when I first came into the business, and I first smoked a cigar.
And what was that experience?
18 years old. That's a long time ago. You know, it took me a while to get into it, to understand it, and then before you know it, here we are.
What is your favorite pastime? If you could do anything, I know a cigar does sound good to smoke, but
No, I like to travel.
what place would you go if you could go anywhere right now?
Well, right now I go to Dominican Republic and start working on a new product.
That'd be fun. I agree. And if you won the lottery, what would you be doing if you weren't doing cigars?
Lottery doesn't. I'm good. Winning a lottery wouldn't change anything.
Well, what would you do if you weren't doing cigars?
I have no idea. I've been doing it since I was 20 years old. When I came into the business full time, I was out of college, so I was about 23 or 24.
Was there ever a moment when you and Carlito completely disagreed?
Can't remember one.
Was there ever a moment where you didn't like Carlito's decision?
No. We always kind of talked everything out and worked on it. I mean, nothing was quick.
I can understand that.
You know, it takes time, and you work it out, and you talk, and it all comes out in the wash.
So was there any time in your entire career where you felt like you weren't sure if this was happening or not happening?
You know, you start when you're not sure about. When we first came out with Ashton, I was working the retail store full time, and about 1 week every 2 months, I would go on the road to try and sell it.
Yeah.
Different cities. Those were slim pickings. You know, in our first trade show, when we displayed Ashton, I only took 2 orders.
Oh my gosh, you only took 2 orders.
And one was from my good friend David Berkebile from Georgetown. And he only did it because we're friends.
Yes, that's awesome.
There made me noise for a second.
No. Okay. Well, that's great. All right. So, Jeremiah, you want me to keep going?
All right. Thank you, Melanie. All right, Robbie. So the next person we're going to bring up here is a very old friend of yours, Rob. I believe you guys went to high school together.
Yeah, we went to high school together. Amazing as that seems.
So, you know, Rich has a big part of this show. It's called Rich's Riot. And he has a tendency of putting a smile on most people's faces, a grin on others, and probably gets a few people furious out there. But, you know, that's part of the deal. That's okay. That's why we're broadcasted out of Switzerland. Ladies and gentlemen, Rich's Riot. Rich Myberg, welcome to the show.
Thanks, everybody.
Hello, Rich.
Rich
How
is
you doing?
We're doing good, Rich. Good to see you, man. You're looking great.
Well, this COVID has slowed me down a little bit, but give me another week and I'll be back out there rocking and rolling. Couple of quick things. Carlito, you've often referred to those members of the industry that talk a good game, but don't get behind CRA, get behind the needs of the industry. One of these days, I'm going to ask you to start naming names. That's just something. I had a quick question for Robbie. I think back in the day, you and Michael Frey were part of CASA. Is that still going on?
Yeah, it's still open. It reopened about a month ago. Month and a half.
Right. Good, good. I love the two Michaels, Michael Freiberger and Michael Frey, whenever I'm out there visiting. Before I tell today's story, tomorrow is a very important day in U.S. history. It is Martin Luther King's birthday. In a country that seems to be very divided right now, I am extremely proud that of the many, many new accounts that have opened in the cigar industry in my 5 states, many of them are from young Black entrepreneurs. These guys have taken advantage of lower taxes, lower regulations, and have come through opening up shops all over. And when you go into a cigar store, there's no such thing as racism. There's only apasionados, people that are passionate about the cigars and about each other. And happy birthday, MLK, tomorrow. Well, today's story, friends of mine all had little kids, and I remember a friend of mine's daughter came into the kitchen when she was about 7 or 8 and said, Mommy, where do babies come from? The mother goes, oh, you didn't expect this kind of question at this age. Well, let's see. Mommy and Daddy fall in love, they get married, and then one night they go to their bedroom, they kiss and hug, and then they have sex. The daughter says, you mean that's when Daddy puts his pee-pee in your hoo-hoo? She says, yes, that's it. That's how you get a baby? Yes, that's how you get a baby. Well, the little girl stretches her head and says, oh, wait a minute, I snuck in the other night and you had Daddy's pee-pee in your mouth. What do you get when you do that? She says, honey, that's how you get jewelry.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, let me tell you something. The virus hasn't slowed you down a step, brother.
Well, I got to keep those cheeks red. Carlito.
You look at them. You got them red again.
Amazing.
Oh,
Rich,
God.
thank you very, very much. That was fantastic. You take care of yourself, and we'll see you next week.
I will. Hopefully, I'll be healthy as can be.
You better be. I'll talk to you soon.
Amen. God bless, man.
One of the things that Rich said about cigars always bring people together. It's camaraderie, and they always bring people together. They don't separate.
But does it bring you jewelry?
Amazing. All right.
You're absolutely right, Robbie. Well spoken.
All right. Before we wrap up the show today, Melody's going to explain to us how everybody out there can go back and watch this historic show. Robbie, you've made history today. This is going to be in the recorded YouTubes and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and every social media in the world out there. And we want to make sure that people can come back and see this over and over again. Melanie, will you please explain to everybody how they can do this?
Absolutely. So guys, you know that you can go to the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that anytime we go live, you're going to get that update and you can definitely tune in and try to nail the professor. So it is tinyurl.com/The Professor Show. Go and hit that bell, hit the subscribe button, and definitely follow on YouTube. Also, you can go to our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/The Professor Show, and hit their notification. You can pick which posts and stories or lives that you want to get notifications about. So be sure to definitely hit the live button so that you know that when we're always live, you can come and share us and join us and ask your questions. So yes, and also you can definitely go to our Instagram. It is still in construction work, but it is at The Professor Show. Please follow it and share us. Thanks for always being here every Sunday as well. Thanks.
Thank you,
Melanie. Thank you very much. Carlito, how do we pay tribute to a lifelong friend who's been there for the past 50 years?
Not in 5 or 10 minutes or in 5 hours or possibly 5 years. Someone has been with us our entire lives. I think that really the only thing that we can really say is that how much we appreciate and love them. Robbie Robbie's such a big part of my life. You know, when I want to be realistic and look at things, you know, down to earth, Robbie has been a big part of the years that I feel I've been the most productive and everything. He's been by my side, you know, close to 40 years. Or 40 years it has been 40 years since Robbie and I started speaking. It's very special. But what's most special is that when we were speaking over the telephone back, you know, way maybe in the late 70s or so forth, maybe, you know, during the early 80s, we had no idea how our relationship was going to grow. But I think one thing has been the cementer or the conduit who has made this happen is not only his personality, but it's his principles, his way of thinking, the things that we share in common, his family values, his business values, his perception of fairness, his integrity. We build a business relationship that has gone way beyond that. It transcends generations. And one thing that I want to say, my greatest goal in life today is not looking back at what we built together. And we have built a huge brand and been very successful and have enjoyed very, very special moments, incredible moments of, you know, with Marvin Shankin and these special events that we've been to together and big fundraisers. And probably the largest single cigar selling event in the country of one brand, which Robbie created with his family, Fuente Mania, where people come from all over the United States, from Canada, who drive, you know, 20-something hours more, who sleep in parking lots waiting to get in line to be able to be part of Fuente Mania. I mean, it's just so many things that we live together. There's no way that in 5 minutes you could pay tribute or gratitude. But one thing that I feel that our ultimate goal is, and my greatest wish, is not to look back at what has been accomplished, but to cement the relationship so deeply in the years that we have left that Cynthia, Mira, and all of my children will have a very healthy business together, but they will be able to enjoy themselves and live the great moments and meet so many wonderful people around the world and be able to celebrate so many wonderful things that the pleasure of cigar could bring and the unity that brings with people. As Robbie says, it brings people together. That is my wish, and that is my wish for the generations moving forward. Thank you, Robbie, for allowing this to happen. Love you.
You know, for everything. And Jeremiah.
Mr. Levin, I know you're a man of few words, so I'm not going to throw it all over you, but you know what we think of you.
Likewise.
It's a lifetime together. You're a big part of who I've become. One of my father's closest friends. So the only thing I can do is thank you. And tell you that there's nowhere I could dig up enough appreciation and love to reflect the substance of this lifetime.
Thank you. And likewise, you know, your family and our family have been together for a long time.
Yeah, and it's just the beginning. All right, you stay healthy, my friend.
Yeah, you stay healthy too. And
guys, make sure to stay tuned because this is probably not Robbie's last time on the show because there's still a lot to suck out of him. And we're going to make sure to get Sathi on here.
Okay.
And if Mira wants to come as well, because they're going to be a lot more fun than their father was, but that's
for sure.
Amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show today. And what a show it was. the one and only Mr. Rob Levin. Rob, thank you very much. Until next time, stay safe, take care of each other and of yourselves. And remember, if you don't do it with passion, don't do it at all. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
It's beautiful. Great show. Bye, Rob, Melanie, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Bye,
Carlito.
Rich. Bye, Professor. We know you're watching.
Yeah.
Don't strike me out, Professor. We love you. I hope we did well.
And Professor will be on next week, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
absolutely.
Bye-bye. See you soon.
Rob, take care. Love the family. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Great show. Thank you.
Thank you.